Hello everyone. I'm audible like that. So, thank you for the long introduction. It's kind of flabbergasted and pleasantly surprised. I mean, there's nothing much I am supposed to talk because there are a lot of things, some of the budding youngsters spoke, and I'm kind of very pleasantly surprised as well that whatever soft skills we are talking about, whether when Rashid spoke or the other lady spoke, right? I mean, the future of our country is in safe hands. So, obviously, there's a lot of dynamics happening as we speak, but many of us have been in this industry for long. I mean, whether it's the IT industry or the retail industry and so on. We have seen such churns many a time, right? Whether it is in the late 90s, early 2007, 8, and COVID times, and now, right? I mean, there's a lot of turbulence. When I go to, say, engineering schools and then diploma polytechnics or even general graduation kind of colleges and universities and so on, one of the most important part which you specifically ask me is, okay, what is our career? I mean, how can we progress? How are things helping us going to move forward and kind of push the envelope forward? So I keep telling them, way back in time in the 90s, right, we didn't have internet. Or even if there was internet, it was kind of, I still remember we used to 90 rupees for 1 hour to even browse Hotmail. There's a lot of water which has kind of flowed under the bridge since then. Right? Today, you have this, you have the knowledge base. Right? Today, with ChatGPT or you're talking about Copilot or a host of similar clothes which are there in the market, right? You have knowledge in your hand. Right? And unlike back in the day when I graduated from UVCE, we have to go to libraries and then check section B, reference to blah blah blah. Right? Today you have Google Alma or you have ChatGPT and so on and so forth, right? So there's one very important tagline and dunia ko mukti right? Dunia, this is your dunia. So, but there's a good and bad to it, right? So anything you do, there's always good and bad. Like Bhagwan Buddha mentioned, so always take the middle path. You take the middle path, there is good in everything. There is not so good in something as well, right? So if you take the middle path, I can assure to you that your career is going to be solid and you will have a great roadmap ahead. So one of the most important things when I try to give career development or kind of talks to budding teenagers, so who are in engineering schools or diploma polytechnics and whatnot, right, taking as a hobby. So one of the things I would always like to mention during this talk is that, okay, fine, you have all the arsenals at your disposal. Oh, you have technology which you can browse with just the click of a button, but ensure that it is not only that. And that is where I said in the beginning, right, I am very pleasantly surprised that compared to back in the day, so we were all introverts, very the kind of approach you would have the teachers or even talk to a large audience like this, right? We would never have. But when I see folks talking with the kind of absolute confidence, I'm super duper happy. So I would like to also mention that is when many of you are still studying, right? So one of the most important things which you will have to take care of is, okay, focus on your studies, focus on technology, focus on what's coming up next and so on. But when you enter the corporate world, it's kind of a rat race. Whether one likes it or not, it is going to be a rat race, and it is also going to be many times, it's not just going to be very binary. There are a lot of things people have to take care of. And one of the most important things which folks have to take care of is the power of collaboration, the power of talking to people, the power of communication. If you take, I don't want to take names, but if you really see some of the very successful people, not just in the academic sense, but also worldwide, right? What the interaction going. Hard skills are fine. You can just Google, you can go to YouTube, you can go to whatnot and get all the technical data. And that's where I say, there's a lot of things which is, that's information overload. Please try to separate the wheat from the chaff, that's all fine. You can still learn all the technical things on your own. But the soft skill, one of the most important things is the art of communication. So that is where these days what happens is when you go to colleges, okay fine, you are in engineering school and so on, okay you are having say 9.5 CGPA out of 10 and so on, all fine, but at the end of the day, it so happens that when you get into the industry, the most important thing is the communication skill. Okay, if you don't communicate, anyone can have a lot of knowledge with them, but unless it is disseminated and kind of mentioned to people, right, it's not going to help. Please communicate. Have the art of interaction going. And it's not like, okay, on day one we will be Shashi Tharoor or whatnot, right? So, but as you keep moving forward, the art of communication is going to help you take things forward. And like I mentioned in the beginning, one of the most important things is when you get into the corporate world, let's assume all of you want to get into jobs, some of you already got and you are at the beginning of your careers. Obviously, things are not going to work in binary. There is no 1 and 0 and you are done with it, right? There is no true or false. World is going to have a lot of gray scale. You have to be super conscious about it and also tread accordingly. So that's one super important thing. So ensure that when you are there, you learn that art. No MBA, no management school is going to teach that. It's in Kannada they will say, right? If you don't do that, then it's going to be super difficult. Obviously, it's not that it's going to be a very seamless path when you are in your careers, right? It's also going to, there will be a lot of falls. You will get up, you will just fresh and then move forward, right? And the art of communication and ensuring that you are going to navigate accordingly will help you move things forward. So the art of communication. You may be introverts. When I graduated, I was an introvert. As in, even okay, if there's a professor coming, I would feel shy and go to the front talking to people and so on was a challenging thing, right? But like I said, slow and you will take some bruises here and there and so on and so forth. But you will also navigate in such a way that you course correct and you move forward and you pick up on the art of communication. So the art of communication is super important. So that I would like to highlight. I will not get into a lot of soft skills. I think the lady there mentioned, right, what is that in pick up and so on. But I will also want to mention one more very important aspect. We are in an area, one of the speakers mentioned, we are at the right place at the right time. As in, the AI revolution has taken things by storm. And AI is not yet another buzzword. It is going to shape whether we like it or not. It's going to disrupt. It is going to disrupt, and jobs which we have seen earlier 5 years, 10 years, 15 years ago, right, are not going to be the same because AI is going to take over. When I say AI is going to take over, doesn't mean that people are going to lose their jobs. People have to fine tune accordingly so that they make themselves in line with what AI is going to need as we move forward. Right now, if you Google, you get this. We are still in the era of what is called as ANI. ANI stands for Artificial Narrow Intelligence. Whatever you see the LLMs, talk about chat GPT or you're talking Grok or whatnot, right? We are in Artificial Narrow Intelligence. It's just a query mechanism, but that's not all. There's a lot of things in the anvil which are coming up, and there's a lot of data which is at the disposal, exabytes of data which the AI engine can take and do wonders. And one smart person, a smart startup can totally disrupt the industry. So please ensure that you are impressed with AI. It's an AI is like, oh, I am in say software, AI is important to me. I am in the electronics industry, it is going to do. Oh, I am in some other maybe data sciences. It is going to touch all facets of life. It is like a horizontal. It is like a HR department. It is like accounting. It's going to touch everywhere and it is for real. It is not at another buzz or it's not at another fad which will just die. It That is where I say we are at an inflection point, and the way things are going to happen, there is going to be a paradigm shift in how things should be. And it's not going to be very difficult. We are still at a phase where AI is in its infancy. So now I spoke about A and I. Okay? Then as we move forward, you are going to maybe it's predicted through various surveys that ANI is going to become what is called AGI. What is AGI? Artificial General Intelligence. So these days what you are seeing is ANI. It is very narrow. It's very, very narrow. And whatever you are looking at is more on the LLMs. It's not just going to stay there. Then we are going to go to AGI, which is predicted to be probably in the next 5-6 years. It may happen, it may not happen, but there is a prediction. And then I believe probably in the next 10 to 15 years, there is going to be one more pillar which is going to be as part of the AI journey. It's going to be called ASI. Very easy to predict. ASI stands for Artificial Super Intelligence. That's where the AI tools which are going to be there today, ANI will look like a very, very minor thing when we go to ASI. ASI, when they say ASI, just to give you a drift there, ASI is going to be a point where it is perceived that artificial intelligence is going to take over whatever present human comprehension is. Whether it is going to be a fad, whether it is going to be for real, is it just at another hype? Very difficult to predict, but it is easy for us to jump into that bandwagon because today we are at a phase where AI has just started. Okay? Please keep yourself updated with whatever is happening in the technology world. So I come from a domain, last 30, I am an electronics engineer from UVCE, and I never wanted to get into allied industries, and I have been in the electronics industry from the last 30 years. So what we need to do is keep yourself relevant, keep yourself abreast with the latest happening. It's not that you should be a PhD level expert, probably in AI, but keep yourself updated. And like I spoke in the initial part of my talk, that you have all the tools to do that. Instead of scrolling through Instagram, reels, or I'm not telling you should not do that. Work-life balance is always good, but don't get addicted to it, right? You always have to, obviously when you go to Instagram, there are also a lot of things on technology as well, right? Rather than, I don't want to, finger point and don't watch this or don't watch that, right? Please ensure that even when you're watching, there are tons of videos, short reels, short formats, right? Like reels and so on, right? Even on topics like technology, right? Practice makes a man perfect, right? So please have a look at it, and when you keep developing an interest on such topics, right? So you are pretty much addressed to have a conversation on any topic which is going to be of importance, not just in your friend circle or WhatsApp groups or LinkedIn or so on, right? It will also help you, keep you abreast with the latest happening, what's happening in the industry, and would help you in your day-to-day life, even in your workplace and so on. The most important thing I will tell you, many of us have been working in this industry for long. If you don't keep yourself relevant, what is going to happen? You will be obsolete, right? And today we have all the tools to ensure that we can keep ourselves relevant. So like I said, the most important part is communicate with people, talk to people, talk to customers, talk to your clients, talk to your colleagues, and ensure that you have everything. If you don't communicate and bottle up, it's not going well. Communication, and I give you some examples, right? I don't want to take names, but you are seeing all the successful people. They are all ordinary people, but the art is they know how to talk. The art of vocabulary or oratory skills ensure that, and as you practice, you become perfect. Keep yourself abreast with whatever is happening in the industry. So I come from the high-tech space where technology changes like probably every 3-4 years. Like they say, right, 10 years ago, I will not make it too technical to ensure that the audience is covered very well. So we were talking about memory technology, or we were talking about 2G, maybe about 15 years ago. Does somebody even talk about 2G now? We are talking about 5G, and probably next 2 years we are going to have 6G. Right? If we we were stuck to 2G or 3G and so on, and nothing is going to help us. So people, and we are in the technical space or technology space. If you don't keep ourselves abreast, right, so we would have lost our jobs and we would not be relevant to the industry anymore. So the point I'm trying to make here is keep yourself updated with the technology in whatever domain you are, whether it is in engineering, humanities, medicine, whatnot, right? Otherwise, there is going to be, if you try to be very, very average, your jobs will be taken. And though it will be frightening and so on, but ensure that you are among the best of the best. And the thing is, what is required there? The most important thing is you create a habit. And like I say, you do anything for 21 days, you form a habit. You form a habit and ensure that habit is good. So listen to a lot of speakers who are in this space. It did not be rocket science type of discussions you will have to get into. Just mundane stuff. And 10 times you get a code on what you are going to do, right? And that is there. And since I take the base topic of AI, because that's going to change the world like anything. For example, there's a lot of buzz around automation. Automation is going to ensure things are going to change. That is for real. These days, if you are doing a banking query or probably a finance query or whatnot, right? Who's talking to you? It's no longer somebody human. It is. What is it? It's a bot. Isn't it? So that's all it is. You are talking to ChatGPT. Who is talking to you at the end of the day? It is a machine. Right? And these days with ChatGPT 5 and so on, ChatGPT 4 and 3, there is a pattern. If I take a scale of say 1 for ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT 5 is at a scale of 100. And you never know what's going to happen with ChatGPT 6. There's going to be a lot of change. But again, and this is not relevant to just engineering students or whatnot. I hear that I have some friends who have this passion, they are in engineering, but they wanted to take cyber law and they are LLBs, LLMs and so on. I heard the impact of AI has become much, much higher, even in the field like say law or even medicine and so on and so forth, right? That's going to touch all facets of life. So the point is, keep yourself abreast, and I took AI as an example because that's going to change the world. So please communicate with people, please keep yourself abreast with newer and newer technologies because things are going to change very, very rapidly. Just before I sum up, a simple thing like a automobile, which was considered to be a brick and mortar type of an organization, right? Car is a car. You have 4 wheels, it has to take you from point A to point B. Last 70, 80 years, nothing much happened. You had the IC or internal combustion engine. Okay, you keep adding some masala features, and that's pretty much it, right? But it is now changing. I remember from my friends who are in the automotive space that chassis which they would develop would take around 5 years to 10 years to develop new chassis. When you see the picture of cars, even if you take in our country, you will see that there's a lot of the engineering life cycles of even a very, very long development life cycle like an automobile from 5 to 10 years has become 6 to 9 months. And technologies like EV is changing the world like anything. We are talking about driverless cars, and it is a reality. It is not like another hype. And some of our friends who are in the US already have taken rides on driverless cars, right? That is for real. So I'm just giving you 1 or 2 such examples which are disrupting the industry. And are we lost in that race? Definitely not. You have everything at your disposal here. You go to YouTube, driverless cars, you go to YouTube, look at EV, and probably you give the right kind of questions to it. You will get a lot of information. Information which you can convert into knowledge.